Welcome to From the Command Center. This is the special interview of Robert Axelrod and Barbara Goodson. For those of you MMPR fans, you may know them as Lord Zedd and Rita Repulsa. I am TFG and Mike, and joining me is Scotty Cash. Hello, sir.
What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not much. Here in a few minutes, we're going to be talking to Lord Zedd and Rita.
I cannot wait for this, because especially after the first time kind of getting canceled, and then I wasn't sure if it was going to happen, and now I'm super excited.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just to give people some behind-the-scenes stuff, there was a problem with the original time that we were supposed to do this. I had to unfortunately cancel because I was forced to move. That's a whole other story, but I knew as soon as I got back online, I was going to send Robert Axelrod's people, an email saying, hey, can we reschedule? So, I mean, it's not like it was never going to happen, because I wanted, that was the whole point of, like, when we launched, because my buddy Steve, who's the co-creator of Geekcast Radio with myself, he was the one that actually got the initial contact. So, and that was one of the things that we kind of pimped was that, the show From the Command Center of the podcast hasn't even, we just released episode 1. We're not even, we're not even 5 episodes in, and we're already getting voice actor interviews. So, I mean, it was going to happen.
By two pretty big stars, in the Mighty Morphin canon, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, in voice acting, technically, it's not going to get any bigger than Lord Zedd and Rita Repulsa.
When it comes to Power Rangers, yeah.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts before we actually get them on the line?
No, I can't wait.
All right, up next is the interview of Robert Axelrod and Barbara Goodson.
See that I don't. Now, where are the earthlings that the incompetent Rita Repulsa was unable to defeat?
Ah, my brave and powerful Lord Zedd! Oh, what a pleasant surprise! Welcome! How can I be of service to you, traitor? Oh, Lord Zedd, give me another chance! I will not fail again!
Quiet! Those Power Rangers are nothing but mere infants! You were defeated by children! You dare call yourself an Empress of Evil? You are not fit to destroy a cockroach!
I have always said that, my lord!
You gold-bellied rat!
You have made me very angry!
How very interesting. The Chamber of Command changes its color along with Lord Zedd's mood.
Yes. That clip was from the episode The Mutiny, where Lord Zedd came back, took over, and kicked Rita out. Oh no. It is once again interview time. I am your host, TFG1 Mike from the Geekcast Radio Network, and joining me is Scotty Cash from the Pop Culture Network. Hello, sir.
What's going on, man?
Not much. And from the Command Center would like to welcome Mr. Robert Axelrod. Hello, sir.
Good to be here. How you doing?
Pretty good. And Ms. What were you going to say, sir? Okay, I thought he was going to say something else. And Ms. Barbara Goodson.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm real good.
That's good.
All right. Scotty, you can take the first question there.
Alrighty. Are you guys ready?
I am ready.
What we'll do is we'll just have Rod answer first, and then Barbara,
Okay.
you can go ahead and answer second. That way you got, nobody's talking over each other or anything. All right.
No problem. Right.
Did you always want to be actors or actresses? Rod?
Barbara, you're first.
No, actually, you're first.
Robert's first. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Pretty much. Except the time I wanted to be a hockey player, a golfer, a bowling champ, a musician, which I actually did become for a while. But no, professionally, I pretty much always wanted to be in show business to make a living. I found that when I started to pursue other areas, when things got dry in show business, I found that I could not stick to them because it would take me away from show business. So, for better or for worse, I stuck to it all these years.
That's awesome. Barbara?
My answer is that first I wanted to be a ballerina. I had a record called Tina the Ballerina, and I thought I was Tina. And Tina basically saved the show, so she was a show girl, too. But being a short woman, I got realistic pretty early on and knew that my legs would not carry me into prima ballerina land. And then I wanted to be a writer. When I read To Kill a Mockingbird, I said, oh, I want to write like Harper Lee. But that was 8th grade, and then after that, it was acting, and it's been acting ever since. So always something to do with performing and creative.
Very cool. What drew each of you to voice acting? Barbara, you can go first.
Money.
At least she's honest.
It's true. I mean, waiting tables or doing dubbing for some extra money in order to wait for the big break on film, that's what we thought we were doing. Back in the 80s, it was, hey, there's this thing you can do. It's called cartoon dubbing Japanese animation. We had no clue that this was going to become a genre that would be loved by other people. We thought, oh, this is better than waiting tables. I'm telling too much, maybe out of maybe I shouldn't be being honest, but
you're absolutely, you're doing fine.
Okay, and so then we started to do it, and you know, I actually got fired from my first job because I didn't know how to lip sync because I'd never done it before, and they didn't know how to teach me either. And then I was so irate by that I learned it pretty fast after that.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's my answer.
Robert?
I pretty much considered voiceover part of acting. I got into it in New York briefly, and then out here, I was doing an on-camera show at a studio that was doing a cartoon show. So I auditioned for the cartoon show, and it turned out to be ADR, which is a fancy word for dubbing. It was a show called Banner the Squirrel, and I auditioned, and I got the role of Banner the Squirrel. So it was ADR, and there were 10 episodes, and we were working on very primitive equipment. So we had to really learn dubbing quickly. So I had a knack for it and an eye for it, so I just fit right in there, and the rest just snowballed.
That's awesome. So you pretty much answered our next question, Robert. Do you prefer voice acting or camera acting? So you want to go ahead and go, Barbara?
Well, did I say that?
No, you go.
I answered that?
You go, Robert.
I don't think I answered that.
Oh, well, go
no,
ahead.
go. They're switching back and forth.
Well, you know, it's not a black and white situation. Do I prefer one or the other? I always prefer what I'm working on at the time because I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
The day I go into the studio and do a double cartoon, I prefer that. And then the next day I could be doing a film on camera, and I prefer that. So I prefer what I'm working on.
Yep, that makes sense.
I have to say that it's basically the same for me too. I mean, I had my dream, but you know, when you're starting out, you don't think about. I mean, especially back when we started, we don't say, "Oh, someday I want to do Japanese animation." I mean, everybody wants to be a movie star or a wonderful actor on Broadway. You know, they're the standard mainstream places that you have in your mind as places where you're going to become successful. And so mine were like typical like everybody else's. But the truth is I love doing anime because it's like immediate gratification. You get to see your work on the playback right away, and you get to say, well, let me do that again. I want to do that better. And so I love that. I love that aspect of it, but doing film has another challenge, and that's exciting. And then original animation is another challenge. So it's all exciting and creative.
Did you ever, with both of you, because most of us know you both from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, when you were doing that show, was it for the voice acting, was it an ensemble cast? Did you get to do your voiceovers at the same time, or was it like each of you were in a booth and just responding to lines?
I'll go. Each of us were in a booth responding to lines, except when we did certain things. Like, I believe, I don't know, Robert, were you at did you do the Universal show? I think that was before Universal
show. Sure, I had half the dialogue in the Universal show.
Okay, then, I mean, look, I have a brain freeze right now. So we did 8 hours of sitting at a booth, in a studio around music stands and dialogue. That was the hardest because it was, non-stop screaming to do the Universal show. When we did the movie, we were working together, but that was the rare occasion. Normally, we did work separately.
Right. I agree.
Your turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we worked separately, just doing line after line after line, except I think a couple of times, Bob, you and I were in the booth together.
Yeah. If they wanted to double up and have us do other things, they would have us, come in at the, at the same time, and, we'd sit back and have the other person do their lines or something.
It's funny that you guys did your stuff separately because it doesn't show in the characters of Rita and Zedd. It shows like you're almost together in the same room, like you're almost looking at each other doing the voices.
Well, you got to understand. we also have we knew each other from when we first started. We had our sense of our personalities, like we were talking to Robert and Barbara in character, and I think that helped a lot too. We were family on many levels as the group.
Right.
Okay. I know, Robert, you've done a couple different voices on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Do you want to tell us about that?
Well, I also did the character of Finster.
Mm-hmm.
And who was a regular character. He came before Lord Zedd. He was the old scientist.
Yep.
He was up in the beginning of the show. So when Zedd came on, I was actually doing two voices. But I also did some guest monsters.
Yep.
Goofish and the two-headed parrot and a couple of others. That was in the first year or two until Zedd came in. Then
Zedd came in season 2.
Yeah, so this was in more like season 1.
Mm-hmm.
That I did these guest monsters.
Yeah,
I was in the right place at the right time, and they wanted to give me something extra to do.
Yep.
Because Finster had very few lines, and Finster had such a peculiar high-pitched voice. Oh, my queen! That I could do the scratchy voice monsters and not sound anything like Finster. So there was a good contrast there.
What about you, Barbara? Was Rita the only one you did?
Oh, no. I did Orbis. I did Sprocket. I did Mandilock. I did something else I just noticed.
Didn't you do a character called the Ice Queen, Barbara?
Ice Queen, yeah. I don't remember who she was, though.
I didn't know you did Sprocket, though. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I did the whiny boy. Obnoxious, whiny prince. Sprocket and Orbis. And Orbis was like, ooh, like a R2-D2 kind of thing.
Out of your entire career, who is your favorite character that you have voiced, Robert?
Ooh.
Well, I have a lot of favorites. Of course, let's take besides Lord Zedd, because let's face it, that was my tour de force.
Mm-hmm.
and Finster, who was also a tour de force, in that I was doing both of them at the same time. I liked Elmer in Hello Spencer. We did a puppet show called Hello Spencer at Saban.
We were boyfriend and girlfriend in that too.
That's right.
That was Lulu.
What was Lulu? Yeah.
Lulu.
We were boyfriend and girlfriend. They were actually living together in the German episode. But they didn't. They played that down for the American kids because they were living together without being married.
Right.
So.
Well, Lord Zedd. What didn't they live together before they were married?
No, they didn't. Rita put a love potion in his sleep chamber. When he woke up, he fell in love.
All right, that's all right. But I thought, well, all right, never mind.
Happened after a few episodes.
You don't know the backstory.
Oh, tell us the backstory.
No, there's no backstory. I'm making rumors now. I'm just saying that, she had to come up with an idea, so maybe there was some funny business going on before that wedding. I'm just starting rumors. Never mind.
All right. For the next question, I'm kind of excited about this. Not only I'm a huge Power Ranger fan, but I started, talking about.
Hang on 1 second, Scotty. We didn't. Barbara, you didn't give your favorite character, did you?
Oh no, I didn't. I'm sorry, Scotty. Let me think. Well, besides Rita, of course, Rita was also my tour de force. There's Cruella de Vil on the for Disney, and Red Fraggle. Love doing that. And I basically, usually the flavor of the month or the flavor of the day, whatever you're doing. Like right now, I'm doing Mother Talzin for Clone Wars, Romanian witch. And
that's awesome.
So I guess I'm loving her right now because she's
paying your bills.
She's paying my bills. And I love the person who pays the bills at the moment.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Sorry I cut you off, but what I was saying was I'm a big action figures, toys, Power Rangers, just all kinds of action figures. But I wanted to know how you guys felt when you first saw yourself as an action figure. I mean, I know you guys do the voiceovers, but it's still you. Mm-hmm. You want to go ahead and go, Robert?
Yeah. We didn't make a dime on the action figures.
But how did you feel?
That's the way I felt about it. I felt pretty good. They used. I don't know whether they created my voice mechanically or actually lifted a little segment of a line off the soundtrack. The talking Lord Zedd dial said something like, "Ha ha ha, Earth will be mine," or "Earth shall be mine," or something like that.
Yep.
I don't recall whether I actually had that line in an episode. As I recall, I did, and they just lifted that off the track and canned it and put it on a. I don't know what the mechanism is in these talking dolls. I guess the mechanism is in these talking dolls.
Yeah, the voice box.
Yep.
The voice box. It sounds pretty mechanical, but it is my voice, and so I felt both honored and ripped off.
Exactly, because you were.
It sounds
normal companies pay for that.
It sounds like
normally they pay a fee for
using your voice.
Or there's a residual structure for things like that based on number of units sold, and we had no plan for doing that. Saban had no plan for doing that. The only extra thing they gave us was a health plan.
We fought for that, honey.
Yeah.
That's better than nothing, I guess.
Oh yeah, that took a lot. That took
pretty well, yeah.
Yeah, well, that took us banding together as a group and saying this is what we want instead. If you're not going to give us, we have to pay for our Power Ranger jackets. Put us on the health plan.
Had they gone union, we would have gotten our health plan through Screen Actors Guild because we were certainly
Yeah, so that was what we were saying.
Yeah.
What about you, Barbara? What about you and
Well, I never had an action figure.
Yes, you do.
You had a 12-inch figure, and as a matter of fact, about 2 months ago, they just released images of a new 4 1/4 Rita Repulsa.
Wow.
No, we're not kidding. I don't think it is. I don't think it's voice. It's just an actual action figure of Rita. And one of the reasons why Barbara may be saying, "Well, I never actually had one," was because she actually wasn't in the Rita suit.
Yeah, that's true. Well, but it's still them.
There wasn't one back in the 80s. There was no Rita back in the 80s because Machiko Soga was a human being, and I don't think they were allowed to do that.
Yeah,
I'll
send you an email with pictures of Rita action figures, but there are Rita Repulsa action figures.
Well, either they're done by fans, or if it's been done, it's been done way later, not when I was doing her.
Right.
I think it was done in 94 was the first figure. 1994.
Really?
Yep.
I've never seen it. I have a flashlight.
Yep. I have your
Rita,
flashlight
but
as
I don't
well.
have. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
No, I've
know
never
exactly
seen any action figure of Rita. I have had a fan make me one.
That's awesome.
So that was fun. That was great. So
I'll find a picture of the 1990s Rita, and I'll find a picture of the new Rita that's supposed to be coming out, and I'll email those to you.
Send it to me.
Yeah, I will.
The action figure.
Oh, no, I don't have the action figure. I can show you a picture of it. I can find the picture. I don't actually have the action figure.
No, yeah, you're actually really rare. So.
I wonder where they sent them. They weren't in the stores that I know. Anyway.
Go ahead, Mike.
What, Barbara, I noticed when doing research for you guys, you were on the 80s G.I. Joe cartoon. What additional voices did you provide for that?
Oh, my. Oh, we're going back in time. I think I was just some combat lady, screaming, going, charge! Oh, that sounded like Rita. Yeah. Basically just incidental characters, nobody with a name. Yes, sir! Sir! Roger! That kind of thing.
Oh, very cool.
All right.
Alrighty. Let's see where we're at here. Okay, what was your reaction when you were told that your Mighty Morphin Power Ranger career would be coming to an end? You want to go ahead and start, Robert?
One of great sadness. Because I was losing a great source of income. And though, of course, I didn't think it would last forever. Nothing ever does.
Right.
We outlasted a whole set of Power Rangers.
You sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, things move on. And, there it is. It bummed me out. The more thing that bummed me out is the last 3 episodes I did, or was it 2 or 3 episodes I did, it was done union. The show had finally unionized. And that took me back to if all the shows I had done were union shows, it would have given me more on my pension and welfare, and I'd have gotten my insurance through SAG. Well, the insurance didn't matter that much because Saban gave me the health plan. It was a good health plan. And, the pension and welfare would have been there. Pension.
What do you think, Barbara?
Well, I had two endings. One was when they got rid of Rita when they brought in Lord Zedd. And I wasn't at all ready at that point. I was like, wait a minute, and I campaigned. I got these postcards that said, out of work Empress seeks employment. It was a picture of me in the costume.
Nice.
I was, and then I heard that they were bringing her back with a new person, and I tried to get myself to be Rita, the on-camera Rita. But, they wanted her to be look like the original Machiko. And
right.
I don't blame them, Ultimately, it makes more sense. So Carla got the job, and then they made the character more like Rita taking a youth potion before the love potion was the youth potion. And then she always wanted to do the voice, and I always wanted to do, we both wanted each other's jobs in a way. So I was really happy when I got back to doing the voice, because again, Robert's right. Actors like to have employment, and it was fun to work. It was fun to work with the people that we know, and we knew we were doing something at that point that was a really hot item. And plus, my son was about 5 at the time, so at the schools it was a big deal to have his mom be on Power Rangers, and we could get great, things for silent auctions and charities for the schools. But when it came to an end the second time, and I remember saying, what if I refuse to do the last episode? Will you make me stay? Can I stay that way? And no, Barbara, no, you have to leave. And Robert's right. They went SAG for the last 3 episodes, and they wanted to cut our salary to a third. I don't know if you remember that, but because they had worked out a deal where they were going to pay less, even though it was union. And after working on the show for 7 years, to drop my pay, to a third of what it originally was a little offensive. So I called. I noticed that if you called and you talked to them directly, they kind of let you do. They kind of said, "Oh, okay, all right, we'll give you what you earn." Thank you.
I didn't do that, and I made the 300, 330.
Oh, well, I tried to teach you things. I tried, Robert.
I just was so happy to be working union.
Yeah, no, I said, give me what I make. Now, don't penalize me for you going union finally.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How do you both feel about the resurgence and the interest in all things Power Rangers, like all the fan conventions, the fact that the brand has gone on, it's the 17th series or 18th series has just started, Power Rangers Samurai. Robert, you can go first. Robert,
talk, Robert.
Barbara, want me to go first?
You.
Yeah, you.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Zedd.
I think it's great. It's like Star Trek. And there's bound to be a resurgence in the old shows, resurgence of interest in the old shows, which I think are still running on Nickelodeon, I believe.
I think they did do like a reboot and showing some of the older Mighty Morphin episodes, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yes,
if
they did.
Are.
What about you?
Bang, Zoom. They did Batman things attached to it.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
On the intro, I remember that now.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
A lot of people said, "What are they doing? They're taking,
Yeah.
They didn't like it.
It wasn't. They didn't overdo it on that.
No.
With those special effects, and because they could have overdone it, but they didn't overdo it. So.
Depending on who you speak to, they don't like it or they don't mind it.
Right. It depends on the.
Nobody loves it.
There's always going to be somebody that hates it for no real reason.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whether they have a, purist, this isn't the original.
Yeah.
Yep.
And,
I think if they showed the old Star Trek episodes with some kind of finagling of special effects, I would be taken aback.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's fair. It's
I don't
fair
blame.
response.
I don't blame anybody who feels that way.
What about you, Barbara, as far as just the resurgence in the popularity of the Power Ranger brand, and also to both of you, conventions? I mean, conventions are a big thing now. I mean, you both have been to multiple Power Morphicons, I believe, and all these different anime conventions. What I find really interesting about both of you is that for the majority of both your careers, you've worked together on like multiple series, not just Power Rangers. Like I noticed on both of your IMDb's, you're both on Digimon, you're both on a bunch of. It's like the two of you are actually married in real life, even though I know that's not true.
Don't tell my husband. Well, we have probably. And what's funny is we both went to Queens College, but we didn't know each other then.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. It's like, the world. Robert and I have a good sense of comedy, and I don't know, there's something about a New York maybe flavor that makes us, even if we're doing Southerners, because I was doing Lulu when you were doing, who the hell were you? Elmer, right, and Hallow Spencer. I was Lulu, darling.
Yeah.
And we just, there's a dry wit that we both know how to play against each other in real life, too. So I guess they kind of naturally kind of got that and put us together a lot of times. I lost the question, though. Go back.
Conventions and just the fan base and all that stuff.
Well, I was turning them down at first because I couldn't believe that anybody could care less about meeting me. I thought they meant, the on-camera people, and I wasn't, I was just Rita in my own mind. And then I finally said, all right, I'll go. I'll go to one. And I was blown away. I was pleasantly blown away because people who are now, 23, I guess, basically, that love the show are very, very appreciative, and they grew up with it, and it gave them a very happy childhood memory. And I've gotten educated to realize that it was not such a, little thing that I did. I did something that was kind of gave a lot of joy to a lot of people, and what else do you want to do when you are an actor but be paid for what you love and be appreciated for it? So it came kind of late in life, but I'm so grateful that it did.
Yep, I definitely agree that you guys work wonderful together. Just your chemistry, just talking on this little interview, how you guys are just going back and forth. It's hysterical to me.
Well, we're like family, I mean, Robert and I are like sister and brother, or I guess an old married couple, We
just don't tell your husband.
And yell at each other in real life, and we do.
Yeah.
Well, I yell.
I do have to tell you, this interview is the first, because I've done multiple interviews with voice actors since I've been podcasting for the last 3 years. This is the first interview I have ever done where I've had two voice actors or, people in voiceover at the same time in the same interview. So you guys are a first for our podcasting network.
Oh, we're setting a ground. We're breaking new ground here, Robert.
Ground,
that's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, okay, we only got a few questions left, and then we'll let you guys.
If I can answer that question.
Okay, about the conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The conventions, I too couldn't believe that that anybody would remember Lord Zedd and Rita and the old characters, and my manager and girlfriend Cheryl Mandel, who's just been wonderful to me, talked me into it. She said, "Don't be an idiot. get out there. And she booked me into my first convention, and from then I was hooked. I couldn't believe it.
Talk to that way. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. There was just tons of people who were just fans and saying, "Oh, thank you, you made my childhood," and "Oh, you were the best villains I've ever best villains that have walked the face of the earth," and that kind of thing is sure it feeds the ego, but it's also heartwarming to see that we created such an effect. So I took it from there, and I do the conventions pretty regularly now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it that you guys are just as big as the on-screen actors because you guys were, you were Rita and you were Zedd, regardless of if you guys were only voice actors. You guys are just as big as, Jason David Frank the White Ranger, in my opinion.
I'll tell you a funny story. An interesting story. I don't know if it's funny, but it would be interesting.
Make it funny, Robert.
I'll try to make it funny. There was a big premiere of the first Power Rangers movie in Westwood, California.
Oh, right.
Which is the western part of Los Angeles. Westwood is a movie town. Has a lot of movie theaters, and so they premiered it. I forget which movie theater they premiered it in, but we had a big
Bruin,
premiere.
I think.
The Bruin? Yeah.
I think. I'm not sure.
They actually rented 2 theaters.
Oh.
And they stuck us voiceover people in the second theater.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah. Oh, you just the voice? Yeah.
Yeah, they stuck us in the theater number 2 with all the sound crew and the catering people and we were on
yeah.
That's not.
But we got to. Then they threw this big party. They rented a city parking lot or something, and they set up.
That's
this big
right.
Party, rides and attractions for the kids and.
Lisa Gibbons was there, and Tony.
Yeah.
What was his name? That giant guy.
Tony Oliver.
Tony. What? Who?
Tony Oliver.
No. The guy that talks about positive thinking and
Tony, what's his name? Yeah.
Yeah, the big jawed guy that.
Yeah, the guy with the big face.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of celebrities there, and
Tony Roberts.
Tony Roberts. Tony Roberts, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, there was an MC, I recall, there, but he wasn't doing much. So the crowd was kind of getting restless. So they were asking the Power Rangers to come and get up on the mic, the kids. But they were kind of wandering around sort of lost. So all the voiceover people got up on the microphones, and we started playing. They said, "Who are these people?" And then we started talking in our character voices.
Oh, right.
And as soon as we started talking in our character voices, a crowd of kids came rushing up to us like.
Oh, yeah, I remember
100 feet deep, and said, "Oh boy," and wanted autographs. And then we were playing Power Rangers trivia on the microphone with the kids, and they just loved it. We entertained them for about an hour.
Yeah, because basically voice people are also improvisational actors most of the time. So we're like comedians. We do characters. So, we've all got that Robin Williams, Jonathan Winters mentality of just jumping around like Sorich, Michael Sorich, and Dave Mallow, who's totally dry as.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? Yeah, Babu.
The point I'm making is that it took the voiceover people to really liven up the party, because the kids playing the Power Rangers had no experience in PR, sort of doing a public appearance, where we've all been around the block.
That's right. So we're film actors as well. It's just that we're not gymnasts, though.
So it's,
We got you.
We go to these conventions with the same acumen, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, we're entertaining because we're fun. We're funny. Not to say they're not. Just to say that we got it. We realized. In fact, we were at one panel that was very slow. Nobody was coming, and I went out to the lobby and I went, "Everybody get into the Studio B or convention, room B now!"
Yeah.
And they came in droves. It was fascinating. What power!
As soon as they hear the voice.
I gotta admit that every time either one of you guys do the voices, I just smile from ear to ear.
Yeah. It's one of those things, Barbara, you said earlier that, I'm just the voice. People want to see the actual person in the suit. I severely have to disagree with that because the voice is, especially with Zedd. I mean, Lord Zedd, you just see, a silver face with these giant metal teeth and a red visor. There's no actual face of an actual person on Lord Zedd. So the voices of the characters, that's what defines those characters, is the voices. Right. I mean, you can see the Power Rangers kids or the adults now, obviously, but, you can see the Power Rangers because they're out of costume for part of the show, and then they're in costume for the rest of the show. But, I mean, for specifically Rita and Zedd, it's all about the voice acting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's why when they didn't want to give us a decent salary for the movie, and we said, all right, we won't do it, the kids were the ones. The children were the ones who said, you can't change those voices.
I know it.
That's not Rita. That's not Zedd.
I know.
And they had to renegotiate with us because, they've tried to do what they do. They're businessmen.
Yeah,
but,
that's a wonderful story,
I don't want to
though.
diminish the actors either.
No. I'm not saying anything about diminishing the actors. I'm saying characters that are specific, have a specific design that you don't see an actual actor's face or anything like that are just the voice. Yeah, that's what makes that character.
I always wanted the two boys to have a show, a spin-off show. They
Bulk
were
and Skull?
So brilliant. Oh, God, that should have been a show.
Yeah.
What should have been a show was Bulk and Skull meet Squat and Babu, because technically those four characters...
Yes. They were the same. They were mirrors.
Yeah.
Yep.
So cool.
Yes. With Rita and Zedd showing up once in a while for lunch.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, we only got a few questions left. We'll start with you, Robert. Would you guys ever want to return as a Lord Zedd or Rita Repulsa?
Well, sure, as long as they pay the decent rate.
Right.
And I'd want it to be union.
We know you love the union.
Because well, the point is it would be so high profile that the union would go after me if I did it non-union.
Yeah.
Barbara?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I would love to redo Rita. She's still in me. She's got more years ahead. If they want to do that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I mean, Rita specifically, if you were asked to come in on any, whether it's the current series or any new future series, Barbara, would you have in your contract that you must be in the suit?
Oh no! At this point, I've surrendered. I could do it, but how many physical Ritas do they want? I mean, it would be great if they could get Carla to come back and do her, and I would do the voice. No offense, I don't even know. I mean, I know that she had a transformation as the, I forgot the name. Somebody help me. The new Rita when she transformed into the good lady, the white.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't remember off the top of my head.
See, this is the thing. It's now so into another morphed place because it's in Australia or New Zealand, and they made Rita a good guy, and they would have to really change it, and I don't think they're going to fly me to New Zealand to do it, but I've never seen New Zealand. Take me to New Zealand, yes.
All right, go ahead.
Can each of you give our listeners some advice for breaking into the voice acting world? Robert, you give your advice first.
Sure. I would say take classes. Take acting classes. Learn acting. And once you've got that down, I'm assuming that, let's say the person has already taken some acting classes and has got a good handle on acting. I would start by practicing at home, reading copy at home. You can get commercial copy out of a magazine. Start reading into a tape recorder or an MP3 recorder and playing back and hearing your voice. Get used to working on a microphone. Get an MP3 setup with a good microphone or a decent microphone. Start working on that, and then eventually make a demo tape and try to get an agent.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, look for some work out there, because there is work out there.
Yeah.
There are websites you can go to that get you jobs, that offer you jobs that you have to audition for. So the opportunities are out there.
Very cool. And Barbara, your advice?
Well, first of all, be honest about your talents. Be willing to be brutally honest about whether you can sustain a dialect or a character. I mean, if you're starting up here and then you end up over here, you have to be, say, I'm not sustaining it. I have to listen, and I can see where I'm dropping it. You have to know that you have to be consistent with it. And Robert's right. Voice acting is acting, and acting classes are important because, as you said, you saw a lot more in the voices than just a voice. That's because you paint a picture when you're doing a voice. That's a whole myriad of images that you have to be going through in your head while you're saying your lines. And also, just as an actor, you have to know what your intention is and know that, what the power is behind what you're saying, whether it's a little baby voice or a monster or a Cockney, waitress or whatever. You have to know that you have a point of view, and you have to really be committed to your point of view all the way and keep the energy going. And that means being physically fit to be an actor. I mean, you have to know how to use your instrument. It is an instrument, like a singer or a ballet dancer. It's an instrument. And have, criticism. Allow yourself to be criticized. Know when you're not being consistent. Can't think of what else. There's so many things to say. Robert's right about getting copy, watching your favorite characters on TV. And
listen to the radio and listen to what the guys do, the voiceover guys do on the radio on commercials.
Yeah. Even if it's a low-keyed voice, there's energy behind it.
Sure.
So that's, in this short period of time, that's the first things that come to my mind. I can't think of much more right now. Oh, and yeah, there are those places all over now to submit yourself to.
Right.
And I wrote my first tape. That's how I got my first tape out. I wrote all the things I knew I could do, make a list of all the things you think are really your special characters that you can do. And write copy for it yourself.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Before we let you go, can you let us know what upcoming projects you both have going on, or maybe stuff like that? You want to go ahead and start, Robert?
I'm in the middle of doing a movie called Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie.
Oh, cool!
I did 4 episodes of Tim and Eric's awesome show, which airs on the Cartoon Network in the Adult Swim section.
Mm-hmm.
It's popular with teenage boys.
What did you play?
Oh, I played a waiter. I played a bass player in their band. These were all small roles and roles I did in their comedy sketches. It's a blackout sketch show. And so it's sort of like Saturday Night Live and Fridays, which is a show I did, which was a show I did for ABC TV a long time ago.
Oh yeah, Fridays is great.
So I'm sort of a semi-regular on the show, and
wonderful.
So they wrote me a part in their movie.
Congratulations, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So I did a day last Friday, and I'll be working another day sometime this month, and then another day sometime next month. I think in Palm Springs. They haven't told me which days I'm working.
That's fine. You don't have to tell people which days you're working.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much better than Palm Springs,
But I did get a script.
Oh, cool.
And I made a couple of very funny bits.
Oh, I want to know. You got to tell me.
I will.
When to see it.
Yeah.
What about you, Barbara? Are you working on anything right now?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm working on Clone Wars, Star Wars: The Clone Wars for Lucas.
Very cool.
And I'm doing Mother 1000 again. And that's cool. And I just finished doing a movie, a thriller called The Lid, which is about an urn that loses its lid, and my brother starts haunting the hated son-in-law. And I hate the son-in-law, too. And the guy who plays the brother that died but is haunting is Doug Jones. I don't know if you know who he is, but in Pan's Labyrinth, he played the ram, is it?
I'm not sure. I've heard his name, though.
Oh, yeah, you'd know who he is.
Yeah.
Let's see. In Pan's Labyrinth, I don't know what he did. Sorry for being... He was in Hellboy, Abe Sapien in Hellboy, and I think he's done so many fascinating things. Anyway, he plays my brother, and in Pan's Labyrinth, he played the fawn.
So this is an on-camera job.
Yeah. I played Aunt Eloise, and I also did something recently. I played a sex therapist for UCLA and University of Miami for something that's going to go on the website to teach people who are going, married couples to what's wrong with their relationship.
Teach them how to...
it's whatever's next on the agenda. And we're going to Toronto together in May.
Right.
For another convention?
Yeah.
Is it for Lulu and Elmer?
Yeah, Anime North.
Yeah, Anime North, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so they've got Lord Zedd and Rita together.
Well, that's go ahead.
Yeah, that's May 27th to 29th in Toronto.
That's what I was just going to ask. Where else can fans interact with you guys online? Do you guys have Facebook?
Websites or something like that, Twitter?
Yes, I
suppose.
I have a site on Facebook, but there's two sites, and they keep going to the wrong one. I don't know how to explain the right one.
Do you have a fan page and then you have a friend page?
Well, I have one that says Barbara Goodson, Santa Monica, California. That's the one they should go to. That's the fan. That's the fan site.
I think I actually am your friend.
You probably are. I got a lot of friends.
You do have a lot of friends.
And I haven't checked it for a while, so I apologize to people who have asked to friend me. I'm notoriously back. I'm an old woman. Leave me alone. I can't get into the Twittering and tweeting and stuff, but I do have this page that I try to get to and answer questions and stuff as often as I can.
What about you,
and
Robert?
I also have a website. Oh, and my website email is barbara@barbaragoodson.com.
Awesome. What's your website consist of?
Demos of my on-camera, voice demos, pictures, interviews, stuff.
Awesome. Robert, what about you? How can fans interact with you on Twitter, Facebook?
Facebook.
You're on Facebook?
Yeah, just look for Robert Axelrod, I suppose.
I'm going to be sending you a friend request, so be looking for Scotty Cash Clark.
Okay.
We're going to be best friends, me and Lord Zedd. That's what everybody's going to say.
My manager usually takes care of my Facebook stuff, but she's been offline for a couple of weeks while she gets a new system in. So I'll get to it myself. I also have a website on Facebook. I don't know what it is. I guess you go www. I don't know.
I'm sure if they just type your name in, it'll pop up.
Yeah.
I'm going to try right now. Let's see, Robert.
You'll probably be going to be getting a lot of friend requests after this plays. So.
Oh, I hope so.
But they just all need to remember.
Yeah, there you are. You've got Robert. Right. You've got like 100 things there. I don't know which one is the one to click on.
He's popular.
I have no idea.
He's popular.
Oh, I guess the one that says Lord Zedd. Anyway.
I just want to thank both of you for joining us, and we'll ask you to hold the line, and we'll be right back from the command center, the audio version.
Okay. Okay.
You're in word now, Zedd. As soon as you say I do, you won't be doing much of anything anymore. Once I take control of the world, you'll be the one riding around in a dumpster. Time to wake up, Zeddy!
What beauty! What magnificence! Where did you come from, fair lady of my dreams?
It worked! Oh, Zedd, dear, you remember me. I'm Rita Repulsa, one of your faithful and humble servants.
Rita, yes, Rita of the stars, of the sun, of the universe. I've been seeking you for so long. I love you, fair creature. Say you'll be my wife.
Okay.
So yes, Lord Zedd and Rita got married. Wow, it was great talking to Barbara and Robert, wasn't it?
No doubt about it. That was awesome.
Yes.
Except for when I tried to convince her that she had an action figure, and then remembered that she didn't have an action figure. I am retarded.
Back in the day, no, apparently she did not. However, there is a new 4 1/4 or whatever size class it is that it's coming out, because it was shown at Toy Fair this year.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I swear I had a Rita when I was little. Maybe because I know I had the squeeze flashlight that she's talking about, and I still do. And maybe I just always use that. I don't know. I swear that I had a Rita Repulsa figure. Who knows? But
I mean, it would have made sense if they had made one, right? I mean,
I guess
they made toys for everything else.
Well, I'll eventually have her because she's coming out soon.
Yeah. That talking with Robert and Barbara was just very, very cool. And hopefully we can talk to more Power Rangers cast members, whether it's just voiceover people or whether it's the actual actors. I would like to point out someone had commented on the Geekcast Radio website when we did the Lisa J little interview thing that we did, that it would be great if we could get Linkara, Linkara is the one that does those History of Power Rangers videos. Basically, he takes, I showed this to you,
right.
He takes each season or each series and does like an entire video mashup of the footage with his voice over it. It's basically a video series Power Ranger review. of each television series, and that's kind of where I got the idea for the audio version of From the Command Center of going in order from Mighty Morphin all the way up to whatever the current incarnation is, which now is Samurai. But someone had commented on geekcastradio.com saying it would be great if we could get Linkara on From the Command Center. I've actually worked with him recently on This Week in Geek. We did a topic for This Week in Geek on geek relationships with him, myself, Spada, who did our Sentai information, and Mark the engineer, who is the engineer over at This Week in Geek. And I asked Linkara off the air if he would come on From the Command Center eventually, and he said, sure, just let me know when. Awesome. We're not going to have him on anytime soon. He is, right now I believe he's getting ready to do his Dino Thunder review, so I kind of want to wait until we get further in our stuff, because we're just getting into Mighty Morphin. We just started it From the Command Center here on the audio version, so I want to wait until we get down to like Dino Thunder or Dino Thunder or Jungle Fury, or something closer to the end of the podcast. So we will be talking with Linkara, but it's probably going to be sometime the end of this year, maybe. So yeah, I just wanted to let people know that things are happening From the Command Center. I've reached out to people and stuff like that, so just know stuff is coming.
Right.
Any final thoughts before I close this out?
Nope. It was awesome. That's
yes,
all I know.
It was very, very awesome. Thank you for joining us here on From the Command Center. There's some ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the network websites, geekcastradio.com and popculturenetwork.com. Join the forums over at Pop Culture Network and Geekcast Radio Network. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Please do this. We are currently still trying to, I think Steve did submit the show to iTunes, but iTunes usually takes like 2 or 3 days before it actually shows up. So hopefully by episode 2, FTCC will be in iTunes. You can follow me on Twitter at TFG1Mike, and you can also follow Geekcast Radio. It's at Geekcast Radio, and at PopCultureNet is Pop Culture Network's Twitter. Become a fan of both of our networks on Facebook. Search Geekcast Radio Network and PopCultureNetwork.com. You can check out PCN on YouTube with all the other action figure stuff. Scotty also has his video series of From the Command Center, where he takes an in-depth, quote-unquote, YouTube look at Power Rangers toys. Oh, wait, sorry. No. That's something completely different. No. Scotty he's kind of like, I really don't want to compare you to this because it's kind of like, you have huge shoes to fill, but you're kind of like the Johnny Carson of Power Rangers reviewers.
Hey, that's all right. I need to add McMahon.
Well, that's what Cardboard Tommy's for.
Well, that's true. That's true. Except for when I get rude emails, he doesn't get cussed out at all.
You can call our voicemail lines. Tell us the show you're leaving the message for and any name or screen name or whatever you want to use. For Geekcast Radio Network, call 502-526-5821. For Pop Culture Network, call 217-953-4025. A note on the voicemails, if anyone is going to be leaving voicemails for From the Command Center, the podcast version here, please use the GCRN one because I'm the one that edits all the stuff as far as the audio, so use the 502-526-5821 number, but you can still call the PCN number as well. We hope you enjoyed this interview of Robert Axelrod and Barbara Goodson here on From the Command Center, and wish you'll join us next time when we will be continuing with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 2. For now, I am TFG1Mike with
Scotty Cash.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Let the power protect you.